on the Junkyard. Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. I am your host, Junkyard James, a.k.a. J Nice on the track. And it's a good day here for a wrestling podcast. We got a lot of things in the works. Today we are doing our AEW Double or Nothing preview prediction show. My guy KDAWG is in the house. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm alive. It's a Thursday night, 9-ish Eastern. We're live and on the air. It's a damn good night. I love Aaron Rodgers, and I love Tucker Carlson. That's all I'll say about that. And I love wrestling. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty damn good, my friend. It's almost the end of the week. I have a 3-day weekend this weekend. It's going to be a fun day, and there's an AEW pay-per-view this week. So can't beat that, my friend. You have a pretty remarkable streak of the last couple AEW pay-per-views with our predictions. I think you've only missed one or two maybe in the last two pay-per-views or so. Can you keep it up tonight, my friend?
Only 2 matches. Only 2. Pretty good.
Will you be able to keep up with the hype of this pay-per-view? Before we break down individual matches, though, let's break down some of our biggest expectations for AEW Double or Nothing. I will let you go first. What are you looking forward to the most this Sunday?
Anarchy in the Arena should be pretty fun. I am interested in, believe it or not, the Unified Trios titles. That'll be fun to watch. Where first title defense, that'll be really cool to see. Well, that Malachi versus Oakland match is going to be brutal, so that'll be fun to.
Absolutely.
So quite a bit of the card, but yeah, I'm looking forward to just about as many of these matches as possible.
Absolutely, my friend. I think the biggest match for me, at least personally, is going to be the Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné match, just simply because it has been 3 months in the making to see Mercedes Moné in an AEW ring, back in action. This leads me to the next question. They're billing Anarchy in the Arena, Mercedes and Willow, and Christian Cage and Swerve Strickland as a triple main event. Do you like this sort of promotion for the show, or is the main event the main event and it's just one match? What are your takes on that, my friend?
Triple main events are fine if they're used seldomly, and it seems like they are in AEW. And in general, if you do the whole triple main event, double main event tagline a lot, it's not gonna make it as prestigious or unique as it should be. So it's fine. It kind of is true with the matches that they're building up for it to be the triple main event. Those are probably the 3 biggest matches on the card that've gotten the most attention, the most hype, the most build. So for good reason, that's why they do it. And it's a good marketing strategy to say, hey, listen, any one of these 3 could be the main event, and all 3 of these matches will deliver and be great matches. So, yeah, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, no, I'm on a completely different spectrum than you are. I hate this, that they build, and this is not just AEW, but any wrestling promotion, when you build a card around a double or a triple or a quadruple main event. It's just, it's smoke and mirrors, because we know, like, literally in the words have meanings, and meaning should mean something. The main event is the main event. It's the last thing on the card, and it doesn't matter what people think when we go 10 years from now and we're like, hey, do you remember the triple main event at Double or Nothing 2024? They're going to be like, triple main event? What the hell are you talking about? They know the main event is the main event. Now, I wonder what the last match is going to be. My guess is going to be It's Anarchy in the Arena, because that's going to be difficult to clean up after. And so you got to think they'll end the show with that match, because they're just going to tear down the stage set after the match. Anyway, I get why they're doing it, because these 3 matches are really big matches, but we're not dumb. We're not stupid. We understand what main event means. Just put a match as the main event. It's not going to hurt anybody's feelings, I don't think, to say, yeah, Anarchy in the Arena is the main event of the show. We don't have to build around a triple main event or anything. The fans aren't dumb, and I'm not the only one upset with this booking. I've seen a couple people on social media also show their displeasure in the booking of a triple main event, because words mean something. But with that being said, let's take a look at this card. I want to get the match that I really don't give a shit about out of the way the earliest, and that is the FTW Championship match against the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata. First off, before we take our predictions here, I don't understand the booking of the match last night, that apparently Brian Keith tapped out to both Hook and Katsuyori Shibata, meaning they both get to fight. Were you a fan of that booking? And then also, who's going to win this match?
No, I wasn't a true fan of the booking. I think that we have this triple threat because somebody's going to take the pin, be the scapegoat, for lack of a better term. I'm sure it'll be hard hitting in some ways, but I'm not overall excited for this match. I hope it's not the kickoff match, because while I want it to be done and over with, that's not the way you want to start the card, is with a match like that. So I actually think that we could either see the world title open the match, or we could even see Mercedes and Willow open the card. It just kind of depends on how they want to take that. Maybe even Ospreay and Roderick Strong. I think either one of those could open the show. But yeah, I'm not thoroughly looking forward to this. I actually don't hate the Jericho thing. I think it's actually kind of entertaining in a way. I'm still not fully sold on Hook, and Shibata is just kind of there. So not overall overly excited for this match, but I got Jericho taking home the win and retaining as the FTW champion.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on the idea of somebody's going to be the fall guy, and I think that fall guy is going to be Katsuyori Shibata, and he's going to lose to Chris Jericho, which will lead to the penultimate match where Hook eventually gets his singles rematch at Forbidden Door in Long Island, where he's from, and he wins the title back. But anyways, yeah, Jericho will win on Sunday against both Hook and Shibata. To be honest, put this on the pre-show. That's where it belongs. Put it on 0 Hour, and let's put another match in that place. Anyways, you mentioned it earlier. Let's talk about it. The World Trios Championship. Is the title on the line? I don't think they ever said if it was or not.
I thought they were. Looking at USA Today,
Because I'm looking at the
let's
official
see.
poster, and it doesn't say that it's for the belt. I just think it's a match, but I don't know. Either way, the Bang Bang Gang fight the Death Triangle. It's interesting because they're no longer being called Bullet Club Gold. They're being called in promotional pieces as the Bang Bang Gang. So I guess they made a change in name there. I think, I'll go first on this one. I think the Bang Bang Gang comes back with a W with a little bit of assistance from the fourth member, Juice Robinson. He'll make his long-awaited return. Give me the Bang Bang Gang. What say you, my friend?
Looking at CagesideSeats.com, looks like this is a title match, which would be cool if it is. As much as I love Death Triangle, as much as I love Pac and Penta and Ray and Happy Ray's back, I just feel like they bring Pac back for a few months. He does a run or two with either the tag titles, a singles title, or a trios title, and then he goes away again. That Triangle comes back, they go away. It's kind of this flippy floppy weird type of thing that they're doing with him. As much as I would love to see Death Triangle win the trios belts again, I think in some form or fashion the Bang Bang Gang are going to retain the title. So I'm going to have to go with the Bang Bang Gang as well. So far, we both have the same guys winning.
I'm gonna just let you go first because I'm gonna just pick the guy you pick because you're usually always right on these. No, it is weird though that, and maybe it's just because Pac likes to just work a couple months and then take a little bit of time off and then come back or whatnot. I don't know, but it is weird the booking that they've given the Death Triangle members with a bunch of injuries sprinkled in there. Did Ray Phoenix, when he showed up last night, I thought that was the Great Muta at first. He was pretty jacked. My
man's was doing some sort of gains while he was out. He's swole. That was apparently the goal.
Yes, sir. And another match that was announced yesterday on Dynamite, the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match between Jon Moxley and Konosuke Takeshita. If Takeshita wins, he gets an IWGP Heavyweight Championship opportunity. Who do you have winning this one, my friend?
I think that this is going to lead to a match at Forbidden Door for the IWGP title, which is weird to say that because NJPW has a lot of talent that they could use in this situation. But I don't know why. I just got this feeling, but I'm going to go with Takeshita is going to win this, earn himself a title shot for Forbidden Door, and lose the title at Forbidden Door. But I got a rare Moxley L on pay-per-view here, and I'm going to have Takeshita winning.
And I was thinking about taking Takeshita because basically for the same reason you were saying that, yeah, it would be nice to put him on Forbidden Door for the IWGP belt. But then I remembered Chicago at the last New Japan show where Ren Narita attacked Jon Moxley at the end. I'm going to have Moxley winning this and set up Forbidden Door between Moxley and Ren Narita. Give me Jon Moxley as the winner of this match. The battle of the best friends, Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta. I don't know where to go with this one. I'm going to let you go because it's like a flip of a coin to me on this. Who wins this match on Sunday?
I honestly just don't think people care enough about this feud. I don't think there's much going around it. They did the thing with Chuck and Trent already, and this is just the last thing that they have to do. I'm going to go OC on this. He lost his title at Revolution, and it's kind of stuck in this little middle ground here. So give me a pick-me-up win, and Orange Cassidy will deliver and win on Sunday at Double or Nothing.
I'm going to go on a limb here. And I think Orange Cassidy wins as well. But with a little bit of help of a guy that they say isn't able to wrestle again. Chuck Taylor comes back and helps Orange Cassidy win this match. Give me OC with the W. We look over into the chat over here. Claude Felter says Mox and Trent. The other matches we went over, he's asking, we went over Jericho, Hook, and Shibata, and Bang Bang Gang versus Death Triangle. Those are the only other matches we talked about. If you want to give us your predictions, that would be great, my friend. And if anybody else, if you're watching here and want to comment, join the comment section, tell us what you think about these matches. We'll air your comments on the screen as we go through tonight. Let's jump into the next match. These final 5 matches, which I forgot to give my preface like I always do at the beginning of these prediction shows. Tony Khan's the booker. There's probably going to be 3 more matches added after this show gets off the air. And so this is the card is subject to change. It might not be accurate after we get off of the air, but we're going off of what we got right now. Let's jump into the barbed wire steel cage match for the TNT Championship against Adam Copeland and Malachi Black. But before we make our predictions, what kind of sauce did Malachi get dumped on him? Because it wasn't Bud, but I don't know what it was. Sean Ross Sapp said it was strawberry preserve. Somebody said it looked like barbecue sauce. Whatever it was, it made a mess. And Taz was not happy that it made a mess.
No, but I'll tell you what, when you brought up the thought that maybe Anarchy in the Arena might be the main event, and it still very well could be, they could easily pick up very quickly after this. They picked up that blood and did whatever they needed to do with the ring in less than 3 minutes, and it looked perfectly fine. And they have white ropes too, so you could easily see something. But I digress. Yeah, I'm not sure. It kind of did look like more strawberry preserves. It didn't have that barbecue. Oh God, I hope it wasn't barbecue sauce because that would take forever to get that smell off of you. I thought that was a cool little segment for Adam to kind of show that side of him during the bloodbath that he did with the Brood, kind of pay homage to his upbringing and his career. Some people said that this was WCW 2000, and this is the only. That's the only thought process was that. But hey, 44 more episodes until Dynamite passes Nitro, and that's a WCW guy saying that. So there you go. I believe that this is a tough one. I still think there's something left to be done with this title run, so I'm actually going to go with the fact that Copeland is going to retain.
Yeah, this is another one that I honestly could go flip of a coin to make the decision. But before I make my selection, let me ask you this. Does Gangrel show up on Sunday?
Possibly.
I think he does.
Kind of interesting.
This is how I kind of see the booking, and maybe I can read into Tony Khan's mind here for a minute. They fight. Screen goes black. Matthews and Brody King show up outside of the ring trying to help Malachi. Goes black again, and Gangrel shows up at some point to offset and help Copeland. And I think Copeland retains. And yeah, give me Adam Copeland to retain the TNT championship. But I'm interested. They've been using Malachi Black a lot more in singles matches. And so I hope that this leads to something big for Malachi Black and all of the House of Black at some point. I don't know. There's rumors that Buddy Matthews may be on his way out, but none of that has been confirmed. So I guess we shall see. Speaking of rumors, let's take a break because I don't want to go through all the matches too quick. Sean Ross Sapp posted today. If you have the Fightful Patreon $5 membership, by the way, cheap plug, greatest $5 in the industry. He said Maxwell Jacob Friedman is expected back in AEW by Forbidden Door, if not sooner. What are your thoughts on MJF possibly making his comeback soon?
I didn't need to read that or hear that announcement because I literally was going to predict him returning on this show. So I feel like we've been kind of teasing his return over the last 2 months and it hasn't happened. But I feel very strongly with the big show that Double or Nothing is in a big city of Las Vegas. You're going to need your biggest stars when you get into the summertime when viewership usually starts tripping down and need to create more buzz and intrigue into the company. And AEW, quite honestly, just needs to rebound and regroup after just a weird last 7-8 months of tumultuous times and inconsistencies and rising, dipping, and things like that. And the pay-per-views have done great, attendance-wise and viewership-wise, but it just seems like the audience hasn't been captivated so much by watching Dynamite here over the last 7, 8, 9 months. So getting him back would be a really big get for AEW to kind of just strengthen the roster overall. There's still a few pieces of talent that need to come back too. But yeah, I fully expect MJF to return at this show, Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I could see Double or Nothing because I think they're going to want to set up him in Long Island at Forbidden Door. I guess we'll get into it later where you think he fits in. I would love to see him come back. And they do need – when MJF left at the end of the year at World's End, they haven't found that guy. And I think Swerve is slowly becoming that guy. But it's a slow transition, and it's been some time where there wasn't just like a big promotional piece that MJF can be. And so bringing him back, I think it'll be big. It'll get the whole maybe he's coming to AEW or the WWE thing. You can end those rumors, and it'll be great to see MJF back in a ring for AEW. I will preface it by saying, don't just bring him back just to bring him back. Have something big planned for his return. We don't just need him back just to fill time. We need him back to actually do something important. My hope is Adam Cole is healthy. Maybe he attacks him. I don't know. Well, we will see what happens, I guess, on Sunday. Let's continue with some predictions. Let's go with the AEW Women's World Championship match between Timeless Toni Storm, probably the greatest gimmick in the women's division of any pro wrestling company, at least of the modern times, against Serena Deeb. My friend, I'm pretty ecstatic to see this match, and I'm not the biggest Serena Deeb fan. So for me to be happy to watch her wrestle is actually pretty cool. What do you think happens? Who wins, Serena Deeb or Toni Storm?
Just because of Toni Storm's character work and her being just as entertaining as hell, it's made me at least care a little bit about the match versus if this was OG Tony Storm and Serena Deeb, I wouldn't give a damn about this match at all. It would be honestly the Pittsburgh match. But I'm sure it'll be a fine match. I think it'll be good. I just there's still just not much about Serena Deeb that I can really get behind from a character perspective. I'm sure the match will be fine, and that's maybe what it needs to be. Is just a really good match. But I got Tony retaining. I think that it's still not yet time. We're not there yet, but I think that this is a good, solid win. Retain the title and keeps the timeless title reign going.
Yeah, I think everybody that has listened to me over the last, 4 months or so, 2 or 3 months maybe, knows where I'm going here because I've booked this entire feud to its end with Tony Storm's reign. Give me Tony Storm to retain. Afterwards, at some point in the next couple of weeks, we're going to start seeing Mariah May drift away from Tony Storm a little bit and lean towards Mina Shirakawa, leading to Tony Storm and Mariah May at All In. I know you don't like that match. I'm telling you, that's where it's going to happen, my friend. I know how Tony Khan thinks, but yeah, Tony Storm is going to retain the belt on Sunday, and we'll see if my long-term storytelling pays off in a couple of months. Speaking of All In,
I can see her facing Shirakawa at Forbidden Door, and Mariah has to make a decision as to whether to go with Tony or Mariah. And I feel like it's not yet time for the turn. Tony retains, and then we get a returning Jamie Hayter, and then in which we set up Jamie versus Tony at All In London. That's where Mariah makes her turn. She turns on Tony. Jamie wins it in her home country. Sets up possibly 2 weeks later, Tony versus Mariah at All Out.
Maybe. We'll see. I was going to say, speaking of All Out and All In, they moved All Out back a week. So now we get a week in between All In and All Out. I still think that's not enough time to build any storytelling, but what say you, my friend?
It's a step in the right direction, but ultimately Tony just needs to understand that that's just too soon between pay-per-views. Not only are we doing, which if I'm not mistaken, we're doing June for Forbidden Door. There is no pay-per-view in July, and then we're going to this massive, month and a half build for All In London. 2 weeks later, we're doing All Out in Chicago. And then maybe 3 weeks later, we're doing Wrestle Dream in Tacoma, Washington. That month and a half of having 3 pay-per-views is not friendly. And from a not a production, but from a storyline and a writing perspective, that's just way too soon to have these big events happening in rapid fashion. And it hurts the wallets as well when you're trying to buy for 3 pay-per-views. If there's a bundle deal, that's great. If AEW could announce an extension with Warner Brothers Discovery by then, and we get it on Max, I paid $15 to watch all these pay-per-views easily. But yeah, it's a step in the right direction. I ultimately think that you just need to get rid of All Out, and that's hard to say because that's an OG AEW pay-per-view. But All In was the thing that got AEW into motion in general. And I just feel like they need to move All In, make All In as their biggest show of the year, with Revolution, Double or Nothing, and Full Gear as your, maybe even Wrestle Dream, your big 4 events, with All In London, and or All In general, and then move All In to different stadiums around the world, around the country, in the U.S., and just do it that way. AEW doesn't need to do these stadium shows a lot. Once a year is perfectly fine. Move All In London around everywhere and make that be your WrestleMania event. And I appreciate the fact Tony kind of sees that and moved it a week. But we're not there yet as to being totally satisfied, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do think having just a week or two in between the shows, it doesn't help because you're still going to have to build the storylines in between like events, and so some storylines come to fruition at All In, and then you're still building other storylines for All Out. It's kind of messy, and I guess worst case scenario is they could just do like WWE and do is doing with SummerSlam and just make it a 2-night event. No, actually, Tony Khan, don't listen to me on that one. Please don't do that. I don't know why they're doing that. Hey, Minnesota, you didn't get a WrestleMania, so you get a 2-night SummerSlam in 2020.
Because when I think of SummerSlam, I think of Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, back to AEW. We will go to the AEW International Championship match between Roderick Strong, defending his International Championship, against the Billy Goat, Will Ospreay. Who wins?
Well, my friend, I think that we see the coming of age of the Billy Goat, getting his first singles championship under his belt. Oddly enough, I think that this is a prelude for the big 3 free agent signings of getting championship gold, because Okada already has his with the Continental Crown. I think we are going to see the second of those 3 win and get their taste of gold, with Will Ospreay defeating Roderick Strong and becoming the new AEW International Champion. With that being said, this is where I could see MJF coming back, making Roderick lose the belt and starting to slowly dissemble the Undisputed Kingdom that cost him his world championship back at World 10.
I like that. But I actually, if you look into the chat, Jason basically is saying what I think. And Roderick Strong's going to retain, because little old Don is going to play some tricks. And slowly but surely he's been...
Who's his trick?
Who's it? Trick Williams. No, I'm just kidding.
There would not be some. Talk about a forbidden door.
Yeah. Don Callis is a conniving piece of shit. And he has been pushing, ever slowly pushing Will Ospreay away from his family. And ultimately will interfere with this match. We then get a Roderick Strong retain. I think at that point, maybe after the match, we can get an MJF showing. Maybe like the Undisputed Era is all huddling. Oh, we did it. They're all in the ring. And then MJF comes out at the end of the match. But I still feel like Roderick Strong retains. And this will probably, maybe, hopefully set up Will Ospreay to go after the World Championship instead of having a middle card champ. Like this belt's too small for Ospreay, and I know like he hasn't won anything in AEW yet, but he needs to go for the big belt, and I think he's next in line, and we just gotta wait for his turn. And I think All In is where he goes for the big belt. So let's just give it a little bit of time and let him just, build his way up. He doesn't need this belt. This does nothing to help Ospreay. Everyone already considers him one of the best in the industry. So adding this belt to his resume does nothing to better his career. So give me Roderick Strong with the retain.
Let me play devil's advocate. Does the Continental Championship do anything for Okada? He's champion already.
Yeah, but I think for Okada, like he won his championship because of his connections to the Elite, so it helps build his character. With Ospreay, he doesn't really have a gimmicky character to where like he needs to have a belt to help his character per se. I think Okada having this belt, like he didn't win it because he was super talented per se. He won it because he had to like cheat to win it, and it just helps push that feature, that the group that he's in. The fact that he's supposed to be like a dick who cheats to get around, he has to bend corners to win, is why he won that belt, and so it helps his character development, in my opinion.
But I think that having the international championship helps as well, because if you think about it, Okada is a continental person, that's a continental athlete, continental signing, internationally well known. That's what Will Ospreay is known as, internationally known, internationally well-rounded, internationally known superstar. International title makes sense. And I think that Tony Khan is going to build him up from the ground up and making Will Ospreay the biggest superstar in the wrestling business by going from the international title to eventually dropping that, to go into the TNT title, to eventually dropping that, and then leading all the way up to the world title. I think he's going to be a Grand Slam champion in that kind of aspect for it, and be the ultimate ace that AEW needs Will Ospreay to be. And that's why I think that he'll probably go for this, for being the international champion, to kind of have that stepping stone to do that.
Does winning and then having to eventually lose titles build him to be that ace, or?
Yeah, because it means that you've won more titles under your belt. Triple Crown champion. I don't think anybody in AEW has been a Triple Crown champion, or even a Grand Slam champion. If you want to count the Continental title, International, TNT, and World title, nobody's been that way. And I think that if you have Will Ospreay, national superstar, having the international title makes sense. He can go and defend it at Rev Pro if you wanted to, and go and defend it at Wembley, go and defend it at different areas. Ospreay's already wrestled at Wembley at All in London and already won in front of his hometown crowd. So if he goes for the AEW World title, why would he win it there when he's already won in front of his hometown crowd? But what are you going to do with the world title after that? I think it's too soon to put it on Will Ospreay. I think that Tony Khan is doing a good job with trying to build his character up, and he's doing these banger matches after banger matches. But now it's time to give him a title, make him a champion in AEW. And I think that the international title is a good stepping point for him to have a championship under his belt. But I think ultimately Tony Khan's going to make Will Ospreay either a Triple Crown or a Grand Slam champion that I don't believe AEW has had yet. And I think that would be something that is going to be one of those AEW's first Triple Crown, AEW's only Grand Slam, whatever the case may be. Like, they're going to give as many accolades to Will Ospreay as possible and make him that ultimate ace of AEW.
I can see your point. I personally don't think the belt does anything to prove to it would make sense if their idea was, if this was the WWE, like, that's WWE booking, in my opinion. Like, yeah, let's just book this person to win every championship, or let's book Gunther to be the longest Intercontinental Championship, or let's book Roman to be to pass Hulk Hogan's record, even though that didn't actually happen, but there were rumors that it would. Like, that's WWE booking. The fan base knows who Will Ospreay is. They already believe he's the greatest wrestler in the world, and adding and I know AEW doesn't like to use this phrase, but adding a mid-card belt to his repertoire doesn't do anything to take away or add to his already big legacy that he's already established. And this I just have to show that just to say. Anyways, let's move on to the next match. We got a couple more matches here, and it's time for the triple main event. I don't know what order this is going to go, so I'm just going to go based off the order that the AEW website has it. We'll start with Anarchy in the Arena. The Elite, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, are wonderful EVPs. Everybody give them a round of applause. They are our great EVPs. Please don't find me. I love you, Matthew and Nicholas. We got the Scapegoat, Jack Perry, and then Kazuchika Okada, the best bout machine. Kazuchika Okada, my apologies there. The best bout machine. The greatest promo in AEW, Kazuchika Okada, against FTR, Darby Allin, and Bryan Danielson. Who wins this match?
I think that this is going to be a very crazy match. Darby probably is going to go back on the injured list. From another crazy stunt that he'll do. Interesting team.
Sledgehammer to the esophagus.
It could be anything at this point. Could be anything. Whatever crazy stunt you can think of, Darby will probably think about it and probably do it. You know, he got a flame for the thrower now, so we'll probably see him jump out. Be put inside of a cannon and be shot up in the air, and he'll do like a coffin drop from that. But they're in Las Vegas, so maybe he'll jump to the top of the sphere and drop off of there and do a coffin drop. I don't know. There's a lot of faces that are winning in this card, so I'm actually going to go with the heels in this, and I'm going to go with EVPs. The Elites is going to come out of Anarchy in the Arena winning because soon enough we're going to have blood and guts. And that's where Team AEW is going to get their revenge.
So I have a bit of a weird explanation for this, but I don't think FTR is going to be in this match. I think there's going to be a announcement on Saturday that FTR is injured, too injured to compete in the Anarchy in the Arena match, and that their replacements will be announced that night, and that Tony Khan Tony Khan knows who the people are going to be, but there will be a special announcement that the Young Bucks won't know about until match time. Match time comes, and out comes the new authority figure of AEW, Scott D'Amore, who introduces the replacement of FTR as the Motor City Machine Guns. They replace, but ultimately the Elite still win. I think the Elite still get the W. I do think this is where we get the debut of Motor City Machine Guns. They pushed too hard on the injuries at the end of Collision last Saturday to FTR, and the fact that they weren't medically available to show up to Dynamite last night. I think something is up with that. Tony Khan has been kind of playing behind the scenes, allowing Darby Allin access to the building, even though the Elite banned him from the building. So I think this is just another one of these little things to build the feud. I think the Elite still get the win, and give me the Elite. And then we'll go to the TBS Championship. And let me tell you this. How freaking amazing, maybe that's the right word, that the TBS Championship has a bigger spot on the card than the AEW Women's World Championship. I think that's pretty interesting. It also shows the versatility of AEW's champions, that any champion can main event or start or play middle card on any show. This match is going to be, I think, like I said at the beginning, the most anticipated match on this entire show. Mercedes Moné makes her in-ring debut against Willow Nightingale. I want to see how you look at this before I make my decision. What say you, my friend?
It is pretty interesting how that does work, where we can one month the TBS title has very little meaning. The world title is all that's been talked about on the shows, and then flip-flop it to where, credit both champions of in the women's division, the TBS title and the women's title have had their fair share of their storyline being played out, which is awesome. And it's great to see that we can actually have the time of day to put investment into both championships to create better storylines for it. Over the past 2.5, 3 months, this women's division has been really killing it as far as the storylines go. That's awesome to see. I am very indifferent when it comes to this match because on one token, the AEW scene is not, hey, your first match debuting is a title match and you win it. On the second hand, it's never been done in AEW, I don't believe, before either. So it is a pro and a con to if this happens, to predict it happens, why it can happen. But Mercedes did get everything taken away from her last year when she did not win the NJPW Strong Championship, or when she lost it, excuse me. And then Willow winning it, Mercedes being out for a year. Now she's debuting in AEW. First feud is against Willow for a championship. I think that it just has to happen. I think Mercedes does win it, does become the new TBS champion. And my prediction is that the big 3 free agent signings at the end of Double or Nothing will become champions with, obviously Okada will still be the Continental Champion, but Will Ospreay and Mercedes Moné both become champion at the end of the show, and the big 3 free agents. The big 3 are champions.
Yeah, the build that Mercedes Moné has had for the last 3 months has to lead to her winning this match. She can't just have this big build that she's the biggest damn thing in the world just to lose. Yes, I'm picking Mercedes Moné to win this match just simply because if it's booked any other way, she looks already weak. She has the star power to go to these big events and promote AEW, and the TBS championship would be the perfect belt to carry around and promote the company. Hey, where's AEW at? Oh, well, it's on TBS. It's on my belt. This is where we can watch. You can watch Dynamite. You can see me there. She's just a marketing piece, and so she has to win this match. I love Willow Nightingale, but when Mercedes Moné just attracts a bigger audience. And it was almost like at the very first AEW pay-per-view or world title match, it was Hangman Page and Chris Jericho. Jericho won that match because he reached a larger audience. And so I view it kind of in the same light. And so I'll go Mercedes Moné to win that. But before we get to the world title match and discuss that, I don't know if you saw this earlier. Sean Ross Sapp posted about 5 hours ago. About 4:40.
John Ross Sapp or Sean Ross Sapp?
Sean Ross Sapp, sorry. At 4:49 p.m., Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com posted on X, whatever you want to say, AEW and DAZN will be working together for pay-per-view distribution of Forbidden Door and Double or Nothing worldwide. So for all of those motherfuckers who were saying, oh, they lost the DAZN deal, they were working something else behind the scenes. AEW is okay. And I would love for you to apologize. Anything before we get to the World Championship match?
No, that pretty much sums it up. I mean, just like I said, from reading some of the comments on X and Reddit, it seems like DAZN was not a very good, or DAZN, whatever you want to call it, was not a very good streaming platform to watch some of those shows on pay-per-view and some of the other shows that I guess was streaming with AEW. Maybe they got it fixed. Maybe that was part of the problem. And AEW, whoever was taken out of the deal saying, hey, we need to fix this. We're getting a lot of criticism. Come back to the table, renegotiate, and they were able to do something, which is also just a great thing in general, that when you break off of a deal and you're able to renegotiate and still continue that partnership, That's a really good sign for that you can have a really good company that knows how to negotiate. That, hey, whatever happened, hey, it's water under the bridge. Let's come back to the table. Let's renegotiate. Let's talk this over and hopefully create a better product that overall. So that's a win with AEW.
If they looked at the original deal that they had, half of the product that AEW promised to share with, I think it's DAZN, but I say DAZN because whatever, doesn't even exist anymore. Yeah, doesn't even exist anymore. They promised Dark and Dark Elevation and some of that other stuff. So it didn't make sense to have that deal structured the way it did. This makes more sense. Hey, we're working on a part-time basis. You're going to show these next 2 pay-per-views on your platform, and then we'll continue from after that and see where we're going at that point. I just thought it was interesting that, hey, they worked out a deal. The CEO of Growth Markets at DAZN says, we are pleased to be partnering with AEW to bring their exhilarating pay-per-view events to audiences across the globe. I think this, it makes it so that it's now not only relegated to just Europe. If I wanted to download this company, I won't. I'll use Triller because they're so much better. But if I wanted to use them, I can now use them in the States and order the pay-per-view that way. It's just another way for AEW to expand the visibility of their pay-per-views, and I like it for them. It looks like a good deal for them. But we get to the last match, the World Championship match between Swerve Strickland and the patriarch himself, Christian Cage. My friend, Swerve has to retain here, right? What do you say?
Not so fast.
Whoa, okay. Lee Corso.
Not so fast. There's a reason why they're called the patriarch. They fight for their father. There's 3 of them. There's only one of Swerve. Darby's already going to die in Anarchy in the Arena, so he has no friend. Nick Wayne was his friend. Now he's not his friend anymore. And I don't think Prince Nana can really help him, right? The Mogul Embassy is no more. They're no longer with Swerve. The world's against him. And I think at a Double or Nothing this Sunday that the heel run of Christian Cage, while it was already great, it might get even better. And that's because he's going to do great heel work throughout this entire match. He's going to create a really, really strong favor for Swerve to be the van favorite in this match and just create really good heat overall. And so that's why I think, just like the name says, you swerve when you drive, and I just swerved back into the real lane of where Swerve Strickland is going to retain the world title. That I was teeing it up. I was teeing it up for Christian to win. I was teasing it. But then we swerved. We swerved.
He swerved us.
We swerved back into the reality of the situation, and Swerve Strickland will retain the world title.
I was getting ready to say, you were so big on Samoa Joe holding that belt for a long time and not being a transitional champion. For Swerve Strickland to lose in his first title defense would have been so not in your MO. I was a little shocked, but you got me. Yeah, I agree. Swerve Strickland retains, and we push forward with his title defense. This title defense, this title reign needs to be long. Like, the only reason I can agree with you on Will Ospreay maybe winning his match on Sunday and not going immediately for the World Championship is the fact that Swerve Strickland needs to have a very long title reign. Because just 1 or 2 or 3 months, it doesn't seem long enough to keep it important enough for the magnitude of history that Swerve set. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Swerve Strickland to retain. And that's what I have to say about that. And that's AEW Double or Nothing until Saturday when Tony Khan had 4 more matches.
You didn't create a graphic for Dynasty, but you may need to create a graphic for this weekend. But you may need to wait until Saturday night, maybe early Sunday morning, before you do post it on the social media channels. Because, well, as we've been well accustomed to, that Tony Khan just decides that he likes to make matches at the 11th hour, because you got to fill, I guess, things in for 0 hour, or 8 matches on the main card is just not enough. It's just not enough.
Yeah, I'm cool with Chris Jericho being on 0 hour, and maybe adding like an Anna Jay match, another women's match to the card would be nice.
I need Jeff Jarrett on my 0 hour.
Good old Jeff.
I need Jeff Jarrett. I need that theme song, the mashup between Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett's theme song. It's the best in AEW. It's fantastic.
I'd say the.
I don't know why people are disagreeing. I think it's fantastic.
I just need the Bang Bang Gang music.
Better than Metalingus.
Oh no.
Better than Julia Hart's theme song.
You're going to get
better
us canceled.
than. No, us being canceled is me saying that Edward Snowden is right and that we're a farce as a country. Anyways, damn it. Better regularly scheduled programming.
back to reality. Back to reality. Oh, here goes. Anyways, that website. I didn't do this at the beginning because I wanted to end with this. The website at the bottom left of the corner, junkyardmediagroup.com, is your one-stop shop for everything Junkyard Media Group, including the Beyond the Junkyard podcast, including the Slapping Meat Wrestling podcast. He put out a great episode this morning about how Bryan Danielson is just a terrible wrestler or something. I don't know. I didn't actually listen to it. So,
funny how he mentioned that when he was the biggest Daniel Bryan mark 10 years ago. It's amazing.
WrestleMania 30. Yeah. Anyways,
the whole thing.
But it's also home to our Discord link, to our social media links. So check it out. Join the Discord. And let's have a good damn time and build a community of wrestling fans of all backgrounds who love all wrestling, and it's pretty fun. And then we have a pretty interesting question that just popped in. Does Britt Baker come back soon? I don't think she shows up this week. I don't. It just doesn't make sense. I do. Oh, okay, never mind.
I do. Wednesday at the Kia Forum, the fabulous Kia Forum in Los Angeles, where Adam Cole returned a year prior from his concussion. So we have Adam Cole coming back unannounced, and it was a surprise. So let's have Britt Baker come back unannounced as a surprise and come back to AEW that way. It's sad that I'm going to say this. I don't know where she fits right now.
Right.
And she needs to come back. She would help the women's division. Jamie Hayter would certainly help the women's division. Problem is I don't know where she fits. Jamie Hayter, to me, obviously clear cut going for the world title or maybe even the TBS. I think she's immediately going for gold. Britt could do that too, but I don't know where she goes first. Maybe Mercedes.
I could see her going after Mercedes, but then again, like that feud should be built with the main title and not the TBS title it grabs. I would almost love to see her kind of do what Hikaru Shida did a couple months ago and like go to ROH for a little bit, work with the talent there. There really isn't anywhere on the main roster where she does fit in at this point. And obviously, you'd put Britt Baker somewhere. She's one of the best in the company. But, I mean, you're right. You can't just end storylines to just fill her in. And where does she really fit? Unless you're going to build her to fight a Stardom wrestler at Forbidden Door, which could happen. I'd love to see the introduction of Stardom there. But, I agree. I don't really know where she fits. I don't see her coming back until maybe closer to All In. But she has been working out and getting back into ring shape. So her return is imminent. Same with Jamie Hayter. Same with Camille. Same with Megan Bain. There's a lot of women getting ready to join AEW or return to AEW. And I just don't know. Like, all right, a year ago, we couldn't say that. This women's division is that stacked. So, again, it's a credit to, like, they're actually trying to give the women's division proper attention and proper storytelling. But Britt Baker a year ago, we would not be saying, I don't know where she fits in on the card because she just doesn't fit anywhere. We would be saying, I don't know where she fits in on the card because Tony Khan will give her 3 minutes. That's what it was a year ago. So it's interesting. I think she comes back pretty soon. I just don't see any time like in the next week or two. I think
I could maybe see which would be kind of weird, but maybe a sort of Team AEW versus Team Stardom for Forbidden Door with, Cow. I mean, Megan Bain could be on Team Stardom. I know she's been doing a lot of stuff over there. Again, not sure about the thought process regarding that, but that's just a possibility. But again, it's a wild time when you mention Britt Baker and it's not immediately into a title scene or the world champion of some sort. I'm not sure where we would put her at right now. It's a good problem, but also a weird problem to have at the same time. But
I agree.
About time that we get into the conversation of the women's division being starting to live up to its potential.
Absolutely. Next week.
Oh, Lordy Day. Oh, Jesus.
I don't like the sound of that. But anyways, next week, we will do our recap of Double or Nothing. We will do our recap of Dynamite next week. And we'll do like a push bench fire. We'll do some other things. And that'll be next week's show. You have any last words, my friend?
The reason why I was saying that to begin with was because the host of the Live for Me Wrestling podcast said that there was breaking news, and all it said was to watch Live for Me Wrestling podcast. So, not so much breaking news.
No,
but no, no. Y'all should watch it. Watch it. They're on a different day than us, so go tune in, support them, watch them, and then come watch us.
Do what I do. Listen to the catchy theme song, and then turn it off.
Listen, we need a catchy theme song too. We need one of those.
We got one.
We do, but we need your rap that you did for the W Shop promo code. We need you to make a song, an intro for this, maybe an outro. I don't know. No other words from me. Pray that I don't die. I hear a bunch of thunder outside, so there may be a tornado coming around the corner, and we'll be in the next Twitchers movie. But other than that, Double Nothing should be another fun show. Should be another really good show, and starting to get into the thick of things in the summertime with some of these big pay-per-views coming up, and overall just things happening in the wrestling world.
Absolutely. Well, guys, until next week, this is another episode of the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. That is your boy KDAWG. Hey, the shirt he's wearing. Let me tangent real quick. The shirt he's wearing. Go to junkyardmediagroup.com, click the shop button in the top right corner, and buy that motherfucking shirt. But anyway,
soft as hell. SAWFT. Soft.
That's who Jericho needs to bring in. Jericho, Enzo, and Big Redwood.
What a trio that would be. What are you gonna call Enzo? Like the shrub? I mean,
the shrub
keep
and
the theme with trees going on. So
the shrub and the redwood. Anyways, y'all,
that guy is an SHRUB shrub.
Shrub.
There you
go. Before we go on another tangent, this has been the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. Tune in next week, and we will hope to see you there.